Sign 3. You spend more than you earn and think it's normal. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. Lifestyle inflation. The moment you make a little more money, you upgrade everything. New phone, new shoes, weekend trips, Uber instead of walking. Coffee every morning because I deserve it. You're not broke because you don't make money. You're broke because you spend it faster than it arrives. And worse, you think that's just how life works. The culture of treat yourself is keeping you poor. Social media tells you to live it up. Buy the bag, take the trip, post the lifestyle. Because hey, you only live once, right? But here's the harsh truth. If you're living like you're rich, but your bank account says otherwise, you're faking success, not building it. And one day, the facade cracks. The psychology behind overspending. Why do you spend? It's rarely about the thing itself. It's about escaping stress, gaining validation, filling a void, feeling caught up with peers. You buy things to feel in control, to feel better, to impress others. But money spent to impress will never bring lasting peace. You're trading future freedom for temporary feelings. Real life. Example, the lifestyle spiral meet Jason. At 24, he landed a $60,000 job, more than he'd ever made. He moved into a high-rise, leased a new car, started eating out every day. 6 months in, his credit card balance was exploding. He was living paycheck to paycheck on a great income. Why? Because every dollar that came in, he spent to look like he had made it. And deep down, he felt ashamed, trapped, because he knew he wasn't building wealth, he was burning it. Why this is dangerous. No savings equals no options. When something goes wrong, emergency, job loss, you panic. You're stuck. You're always playing catch up. Even if your income grows, your spending grows with it. You never feel secure. You delay freedom. The longer you avoid building real assets, the longer you're trapped in needing that next paycheck. The mindset shift. Live below so you can rise above. Most people chase appearance. Rich people chase freedom. Real wealth is invisible. It's the money you don't spend. It's the choices you get to make. Want to know what feels better than luxury? Not needing a boss, not stressing over bills, not caring what others think, because you've built a life that works for you. That starts by living under your means. Now, how to escape this trap one? Track every dollar, use an app, a notebook, anything. Know where your money goes. 2, build the habit of saving first. Pay yourself before paying bills. Even $10 matters. Build the muscle. 3, stop comparing. Most people you see living it up are broke too. Don't follow them off a cliff. 4. Real success innum sol innavendra vilakam. Ask, would I rather look rich or be free? The 25-year-old advantage. If you learn this lesson now, at 25, you're 10 years ahead of most people, because most learn it at 35, after a decade of mistakes, debt, and stress. You have time, but not to waste. Start small. Cut one expense. Save 1% more. That small habit will compound into real wealth. Final thought on sign 3. Spending money feels good. Saving money feels boring, but guess what? Boring gets rich. Exciting stays broke. And if you can delay gratification now, just a little, you unlock a life where money becomes your servant, not your master. And coming up next, we'll talk about a 4th sign that's even more dangerous than overspending. You fear rejection more than you desire freedom. Sign 2, you confuse motion with progress. You're always busy, you take notes from every podcast, you highlight entire books, you watch video after video on success, productivity, habits, and yet nothing actually changes. You're still broke, still unsure, still stuck. Why? Because you're confusing motion with progress. Let's talk about this sneaky trap, the productivity illusion. Look how much I did today. You feel accomplished, but deep down, you know, most of it wasn't necessary. None of it moved the needle. This is what we call fake productivity. It looks impressive, feels satisfying, but it's secretly a form of procrastination, dressed up as progress. Reading 5 books without implementing a single thing? That's motion. Watching 3 hours of YouTube videos on discipline while laying in bed? Motion. Organizing your workspace, color-coding your to-do list, building the perfect routine, all motion. Progress? That's different. Progress is uncomfortable. It's often boring. It involves doing the actual scary thing, making the call, writing the sales page, filming the first video. That's real progress, the comfort of preparation. Preparation feels productive because it's safe. It's a shield. You get to say, I'm working on it. I'm learning. I'm almost ready. But months go by, years, and your dreams remain stuck in notebooks and vision boards. At some point, you have to ask, am I growing or just getting really good at preparing? A real-life story. The researcher who never started. A young man wanted to launch a podcast. He researched the best mics, editing software, branding tips. He built a Notion board. He bought a course. He studied others who made it. 2 years later, still no episode. Why? Because launching meant risking judgment. It meant being imperfect. So he stayed safe and stayed invisible. Meanwhile, someone else with half the knowledge launched with their phone and now runs a top 100 show. You don't win by knowing more. You win by starting sooner. Busy is not the same as effective. There's a dangerous pride in being busy. We glorify hustle, wear stress like a badge. But busyness is often just distraction. We check email to avoid writing. We tweak our website instead of selling. We plan instead of execute. Activity is not equal to achievement. If your effort isn't producing results, it's time to rethink the effort. How to break the cycle. Let's make this practical. 1. Measure outputs, not inputs. Track what you create, not how long you work. Ask daily, what did I actually produce today? 2. Cut half of your to-do list. Most tasks are noise. Focus on high-impact actions only. 3. Set deadlines publicly. Announce your launch. Set a real date. Create urgency. 4. Reward execution, not learning. Finish the chapter? Celebrate. Watched a course? Only celebrate if you applied it. Mindset. Shift. Action. First, clarity second. Most people wait for clarity before they act, but the truth is, clarity comes from action. You figure it out as you go. The path becomes clear when you start walking. The fog lifts one step at a time. And yes, your first version will suck. Your first try won't be perfect, but it's better than still preparing 3 years from now. Final thought. On sign 2. You're not stuck because you lack information. You're stuck because you're avoiding action. Motion makes you feel safe. Progress demands courage. Don't confuse the two. Make something messy, publish something rough. Take a step that scares you, because the day you start executing, even poorly, is the day your life finally starts to move. And next, we'll talk about the third sign that kills your chances of building real wealth. You spend more than you earn and call it normal. Sign 1. You trade time for money and think that's normal. You wake up early, commute to a job, work 8 to 10 hours, get paid, and repeat. That's what you were taught, right? Work hard, get a paycheck, save a little, retire someday. But here's the brutal truth. If your income depends on how many hours you work, you're already stuck. And unless you break this model, you'll never build real wealth. Let's break it down. The time for money trap. You only have 24 hours in a day. So if every dollar you earn is tied to a block of time, guess what? Your income has a ceiling. No matter how hard you work, your time runs out. Your energy runs out. Your life runs out. This is why even people who work 60+ hours a week stay broke. They're not lazy. They're just stuck in a system that doesn't scale. Now think about this. The person working at the gas station makes $15 per hour. The surgeon makes $300 per hour. Sure, one earns way more, but they both trade time for money. If they stop working, the money stops too. That's not wealth. That's a treadmill. And the higher you climb, the faster it spins, until burnout hits. The shift from time-based to value-based. Rich people don't get rich by working harder. They get rich by working smarter. Instead of trading time, they focus on building value, something that works even when they're not around. They build things like businesses, investments, online platforms, licensing, products, intellectual property, things that create leverage. So instead of being paid per hour, they're paid per result, per sale, per idea. And that income can grow without them working more hours. That's the key. Leverage is how you escape the hamster wheel. Real life contrast. Two friends, two futures. Let me paint you a picture. Two friends, David and Brian, both 27. David gets a stable job, $60,000 a year. He's proud. His parents are proud. He clocks in at 9, out at 5. By 30, he's making $70,000. Rent is up, inflation is up, and he feels stuck. But he's secure. Brian, on the other hand, starts freelancing. Low pay, unstable income, tons of rejection. But he learns. He builds skills. He creates an online course, a digital product, starts a small e-commerce store. At first, David laughs, but by 32, Brian earns $20,000 per month and works 4 hours a day because he stopped trading time and started building leverage. This isn't theory, it's happening every day. Why most people stay stuck? People cling to the time for money model because it feels safe, it's familiar, it's predictable, it pays the bills. But here's what they miss. Predictable doesn't mean powerful, and safe doesn't mean scalable. They never question the system they're in until it's too late. At 35, they say, it's too risky. At 40, they say, I have kids. At 50, they say, I wish I started earlier. Don't let that be your story. What you can do. Right now, here's where the shift begins. You don't need to quit your job tomorrow, but you do need to start thinking differently. 1. Build a skill that scales. Writing, design, marketing, programming. These skills create value beyond time. 2. Start something on the side. Sell a digital product. Offer a service. Build an audience. Start small, but start now. 3. Save to invest, not just survive. Every dollar saved is a seed. Plant it in something that grows, not just sits. 4. Ask, can this make money without me? If the answer is yes, you're on the right path. Because real wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. Freedom from the alarm clock. Freedom from the calendar. Freedom to live on your terms. Mindset. Reminder. You were raised in a system that told you hard work equals success. But in today's world, that's not enough. Hard work only pays off when pointed in the right direction. Digging deeper in the wrong spot doesn't find gold. You need to dig smarter. And once you understand that your time is the most limited resource you have, you'll stop selling it for cheap. You'll start building something that grows when you sleep. That's not a dream. That's the new game. And it's a game you can win if you start playing now. You're working hard, you're staying busy, you're trying everything they said would lead to success. But deep down, something feels off. You're not getting ahead. You're not building wealth. You're not becoming who you thought you'd be by now. Here's the truth no one tells you. It's not just about effort. It's about direction. And if you're not paying attention, you might already be on a path that guarantees you'll never be rich. Not because you're not smart, not because you're not capable, but because you're stuck in habits that quietly sabotage your future every single day. In this video, you'll discover 7 brutal signs you might be ignoring. Signs that scream, if you don't change this soon, wealth will always be out of reach. But it's not too late, because I'll also show you how to break free for good. If you're serious about becoming the best version of yourself, hit that subscribe button. This channel isn't here to sugarcoat things. It's here to wake you up, push you forward, and help you build a life that's rich, not just in money, but in meaning. Let's dive in. Sign 4. You fear rejection more than you desire freedom. Let's get painfully honest again. You want to win. You want success, wealth, and freedom. But the moment it requires you to risk looking stupid, you freeze. The second someone might say no, you stop. And that's the problem. You fear rejection more than you want to win. You won't. Ask for a raise. Pitch your service. Start that YouTube channel. Post your thoughts online. Call that client again. Sell what you made. Why? Because deep down, you care more about being liked than being free. You crave approval, validation, comfort. But here's the brutal truth. Success comes wrapped in rejection. If you can't stomach hearing, "Oh, no," you'll never hear yes from life. Rejection isn't the problem. Your ego is rejection. Hurts not because of what it is, but because of what you make it mean. You think, they said no. I'm not good enough. They unfollowed me. I'm annoying. They laughed. I should quit. But rejection isn't personal. It's data, feedback, direction. It's the universe saying, not this way, try again. And every rejection is a necessary step toward success. Real life story, the salesman who learned fast. There's a man named John. He started selling software at 24. The first week, he got rejected 50 times. Cold calls, cold emails. Nothing worked. He was crushed. But instead of quitting, he made a rule. I win if I get 10 no's a day. Strange, right? He stopped chasing yes and started building his tolerance to no. Within 6 months, top salesman in his company, tripled his income because he realized the one who gets the most no's gets the most wins. The link between rejection and wealth. Here's something no one teaches in school. If you want to be rich, you have to sell. Sell ideas. Sell yourself. Sell your vision. Sell your value. And sales equals rejection. Not once. Hundreds, thousands of times. If you want freedom, you have to go through rejection. Not around it. Through it. Why most people stay broke? It's not because they're not smart. It's because they're scared of looking stupid. They never speak up. They never ask. They never risk. They'd rather stay broke than be uncomfortable. But remember this. Your wealth is waiting for you on the other side of your most feared no. How to build rejection resilience. 1. Get 5 no's this week. Ask for things you'd normally avoid. See what happens. 2. Reframe rejection. It's not, they hate me. It's, this wasn't a fit. Keep going. 3. Practice public exposure. Post online. Share your ideas. Make yourself seen. 4. Stop taking it personally. You are not your pitch, or your message, or your price. Truth. You need to hear the people you admire. They've been rejected more times than you've tried. Every successful person you see, the entrepreneur with millions, rejected by investors, the artist with fans, laughed at in the beginning, the author with a bestseller, told this will never sell 25 times. They just didn't let it stop them. Closing thought on sign 4. You won't become rich by being liked. You become rich by becoming unshakable. And that means learning this mantra. Rejection isn't failure. Avoidance is. So the next time you hesitate, remember, that moment of discomfort might be the price of your freedom. Coming up next, sign 5. You follow the crowd, even when it's headed nowhere. Let's face something uncomfortable. Most people aren't living the life they want. They're just surviving, yet you keep copying them. Why? Because it feels safe. Because it feels normal. But guess what? Normal is broken. And if you keep following what's normal, you'll end up just like everyone else, drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, working a job you hate, numbing your dreams with distraction. The crowd isn't thinking, it's reacting. Look around. People follow trends without asking where they lead. They buy what they can't afford just to impress people who don't even notice. They scroll mindlessly, compare constantly, and wonder why they feel empty. They pick careers because of prestige, not passion. They take advice from people who are secretly miserable. They fear being different more than they fear being broke. And so they stay stuck, miserable, but accepted. You were not born to blend in. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If you want uncommon results, you must live an uncommon life. You must think differently, act differently, choose differently. You can't spend like them, waste time like them, think like them, avoid risks like them, and expect to end up wealthy, free, and fulfilled. It's not going to happen. Real life contrast. 2 paths, 2 outcomes. Meet Daniel and Chris. They're both 26. Daniel does what everyone else does. Went to college, got a job, pays bills, goes out on weekends. Chris quit college, started freelancing, lived cheap, worked nonstop, and built a small business from his laptop. At first, Daniel laughed. Chris seemed broke, unstable, weird. 5 years later, Daniel's in debt, hating his job, unsure what went wrong. Chris just hit his first $200,000 year. He travels, chooses his schedule, and builds real wealth. What changed? One followed the crowd, the other followed vision. Why we copy others, even when it hurts us. It's not because we're stupid. It's because we're scared. Scared to be wrong. Scared to be alone. Scared to fail publicly. But here's the twist. Following the crowd doesn't keep you safe. It just keeps you small. Signs. You're still following the crowd. You spend money the moment you earn it. You avoid side hustles because they seem risky. You care more about approval than progress. You scroll more than you study. You feel like you're behind because of social media. If this stings, good. That means it's hitting the truth. Now you can change it. How to break away from the herd one. Audit your circle. Are your closest friends growing or complaining? Second question. Everything you know. Who told you money is hard to make? Who told you it's too late? 3. Spend time alone. Most people never hear their own voice. They're too busy listening to noise. 4. Take the road less crowded. Everyone's chasing clout. Chase skill. Everyone's wasting time. Build discipline. Everyone's comparing. Focus on your own lane. Powerful mindset. Shift. Choose your model. Ask yourself, who are you modeling your life after? If you want freedom, model people who are free. If you want wealth, model people who built it, not those who just talk about it. Your model determines your mindset, and your mindset determines your outcome. Closing reminder on sign 5. If you live like most people, you'll struggle like most people. If you want a different life, you have to live differently. So next time you feel tempted to copy what everyone else is doing, pause, ask, decide, because everyone else isn't winning, and neither will you, unless you choose your own path. Next up, sign 6. You waste time like you'll live forever. Time is your most precious currency. Not money, not connections, not talent. Time. Because once it's gone, it's gone. Yet most people act like they have unlimited time to figure it all out. They scroll for hours, binge shows for days, sleepwalk through years, and then wonder why life feels stuck. You act like you'll get a second chance. Here's the brutal truth. You won't. You won't get another shot at 25. You won't get back the hours you wasted today. You won't get a redo on the last 5 years. Every second you spend passively consuming instead of actively building is time you'll never reclaim. You don't get rich by accident. You get rich by intentionally trading time for growth, over and over again. The illusion of busy. Most people aren't lazy. They're just busy. Busy with work that doesn't move them forward. Busy with other people's problems. Busy trying to look productive without ever producing results. But there's a difference between activity and progress. Scrolling is not strategy. Thinking is not action. Planning is not producing. The 4 time wasters that kill dreams. Endless consumption, podcasts, books, YouTube videos, all great. until they become procrastination. Perfectionism, waiting for the perfect time, plan, or idea. Spoiler, it never comes. Uncontrolled distraction, notifications, apps, emails, all pulling you away from what actually matters. Low-value habits, watching the news, arguing online, gossiping. You're investing your hours into nothing. Real-life parallel, the 30-year-old who finally woke up. Alex was always going to start his side hustle, going to save, going to launch a YouTube channel. But his days disappeared into busyness, and his nights disappeared into Netflix. At 30, he realized his time was spent, but nothing had changed, so he made one decision: track every hour, cut every waste. Within 90 days, he launched his first digital product. Within a year, he doubled his income. The key wasn't genius, it was attention. He stopped leaking time and started investing it. $1 million habit, time awareness. Want to know the difference between broke and wealthy? It's not intelligence, it's not background, it's what they do with 24 hours. Wealthy people say no to 90% of distractions, guard their calendar like it's sacred, measure progress in hours, not years. Broke people wait for motivation, hope for results. Waste today thinking about someday. Here's what to do right now. 1. Time audit. For 3 days, track where your hours go. You'll be shocked. The $10, $100, $1,000 rule. Ask, is this task worth $10 an hour or $1,000 per hour? Focus on what multiplies your results. 3. Daily no practice. Say no to one thing every day that steals your time. 4th morning. Focus block. Spend your first hour building, not reacting, no emails, no scrolling, just creation. Final reflection on sign 6. You keep saying, I'll do it later. I've got time. I'll start next week. But one day, later, becomes never. And that dream you had, it dies, not because it was impossible, but because you traded it for comfort, distractions, and delay. Your future is built with the bricks of what you do today. So stop wasting the one resource you can never get back. Because wealthy people, they don't just manage money, they master time. Sign 7. You keep waiting for permission to start. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for the right moment, waiting for the right skills, waiting for someone to approve, validate, or push them. But here's the raw truth. No one's coming. No one's going to hand you a map. No one's going to knock on your door with the perfect opportunity. No one's going to say, it's your time now. Because it's always been your time. The only difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck? The risers gave themselves permission. The rest kept waiting for someone else to do it. Why you wait and what it's costing you. Let's break it down. You hesitate because you don't feel ready. You fear failing in front of others. You're worried about what people will think. But here's the brutal truth. Ready is a myth. No one ever feels 100% ready. Success belongs to those who act anyway. The cost of waiting isn't just lost time. It's lost identity. Every day you wait, you become someone who doesn't act. And that becomes who you are. The world doesn't owe you a green light. Think about it. Every wealthy, successful, fulfilled person you admire, they all had to start without guarantees. Steve Jobs didn't wait for permission. Oprah didn't wait for permission. Elon Musk didn't wait for permission. They acted when it was messy. They acted when it was unclear. They acted when everyone else said they were crazy. And that's exactly why they made it. Real life shift. From I can't to watch me. Jasmine was stuck in a 9-to-5 she hated. Had dreams of starting a creative agency. But for years, she waited. For more experience. For savings. For the right time. Then one day, she asked herself, what if I gave myself permission? She stopped asking. She started building. She made mistakes, but she made moves. Today, she runs a 6-figure agency, all because she stopped waiting and started deciding. you are already qualified to begin. Let this sink in. You don't need more validation. You don't need another degree. You don't need someone to say, go. You just need to begin. Even if it's slow, even if it's small, even if it's scary, starting creates momentum. Momentum creates clarity. Clarity creates results, and results change your life. The No Permission Needed Toolkit. Here's how to break the cycle of waiting. 1. Write your own permission slip. Literally write, I give myself permission to pursue starting today. 2. Take 1. Bold action, launch the page. Make the call. Publish the idea. Third track. Action. Not approval. Don't chase likes. Chase output. Track how often you create, not how people respond. 5. Replace excuses with deadlines. I'll try becomes I will do by Friday. Lock in your first milestone now. Final message on sign 7. You weren't born to be passive. You weren't born to ask for permission. You were born to build, to lead, to act. No one's coming to save you, but no one's stopping you either. The moment you stop waiting and start owning, you unlock a level of freedom that most never touch. This is the final sign and the final wake-up call. If you want to be rich, in money, in freedom, in impact, you must become the kind of person who moves, even when the world hasn't caught up yet. This is your sign. Don't wait for the world to say yes. Say it to yourself and go. So now you've seen all 7 signs. Some of them hit hard, didn't they? Maybe you recognized a few in your own life. Maybe you saw patterns that have been holding you back for years. But here's the truth. This video wasn't made to shame you. It was made to wake you up. Because awareness is the beginning of transformation. The fact that you watched this far already puts you ahead of 99% of people who just scroll, but never stop to reflect. Let's take a breath and be honest. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're not doomed. But you are at a crossroads. You now have 2 options. Option 1. Close this video. Go back to what's comfortable. Ignore the signs. Keep living on repeat. Option 2. Use this moment. Let the discomfort sink in and do something different. Because success isn't about talent or luck or waiting for the right time. It's about taking radical ownership of your future, starting now. So what do you do next? Pick one sign that hit you the hardest. Just one. And this week, not next month, take real, visible action to reverse it. Because small steps, taken consistently, beat grand intentions left on a shelf. You don't need to fix everything overnight. You just need to start showing the universe. I'm serious this time. And when you do, momentum will meet you. Resources will appear. Doors will open. Because life always rewards those who move first. Before you go, if this video made you think, if it stirred something inside you, do one more thing. Subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below. Which sign was your wake-up call? We read every comment. We build every video with you in mind. This isn't just a channel. It's a movement for people who are done waiting and ready to grow. Remember, your 30s don't have to look like your 20s, and your next 5 years don't have to echo the last 5, but only if you choose. Choose to rise, choose to act, choose to live a life that richness isn't just about money, but freedom, growth, and meaning. Let today be day 1. We'll see you in the next video. And